Morning. By God, it's cold this morning here in the man cave. It's only a quick one. I can't stand it out here very long. It really is cold. It's not as short as I hope it's going to be honest, but it's a little local video, and it's an experiment as much as anything, because I'm playing around with a dual camera setup. So just bear with me. It's not as seamless as I thought it might be, but I'm working on it. But this is all about the local, not quite feudal system, but the landlord and tenant system, if you like, that existed in these villages until recently. I mean, this village I live in here, been here 40 years. I've seen big changes. A lot of the village was owned by the lord of the manor, effectively. In this case, it was the Harper Crews. Big changes. A lot of the properties are privately owned now, and almost every village, particularly those over the border in Derbyshire, have got their mansion houses within the villages. So I've done a little tour of them, and showing you a little bit of the villages that these lords of the manor have had or still have in one or two occasions. But anyway, have a look through it, see what you think. Constructive criticism, yeah, it'd be great. But I know the weaknesses, I know where the weaknesses are. And it's not just about the indicator I've left on a couple of times, okay. But yeah, have a look through. I hope you find it interesting, or maybe even entertaining. So I'm sure you'll let me know. Just give us a thumbs up. And if you've not already done then, it's getting boring now, I suppose, but yeah, if you could subscribe, that'd be great. So yeah, see what you think. Thanks a lot. Well, good afternoon. Just crossed the border into Derbyshire, and woke up this morning and the sun was shining. Well, I say the sun was shining, got a bit of blue sky, which we've still got a bit of, so even though it's only about 5 degrees, probably less than 5 degrees actually, but I thought we'd have a little run out. I've got something planned, sort of. We'll have a tour of mansion houses over the border here in Derbyshire. There's a myriad of mansion houses. Most villages have got one, in actual fact. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity to show one or two of them off. Nice indicator. Now we're coming up Hall Bank out of Hartington, called Hall Bank because up here on the left hand side is Hartington Hall. This is Hartington Hall in front of us. This was built in 1611 by the Bateman family, and they kept it right through. Built entirely of limestone, well, limestone with gritstone corners, but in 1934 they gave it over to the WII, so it's been a youth hostel since then, a very, very good quality of youth hostel, as you can see. Oh, and they've started putting little pods down there for accommodation. Yeah, so that's Hartington Hall. So we'll make a short distance over to the next village now, which is Biggin.
But there's a slightly more interesting way of getting to Biggin. We can use a green lane. It is a Saturday though, so there could be a few walkers about, but either way, it's a nice alternative as this. From what I understand, this was probably the main road at one time, over to Biggin from Hartington, because it is more or less in a straight line. Only a tiny bit muddy. Just watched the flipping bike as well. Never mind. Lovely views this morning. Out over the Derbyshire limestone. Really fortunate to live around here. Take it for granted a lot of the time, but when you see it like this, it's difficult not to appreciate it, to be honest. It's a bit more of a struggle for the mountain, well, the cyclists. They weren't actually on mountain bikes. So this brings us up to the village of Biggin. Biggin. Nice pub here. The Waterloo. But we're not here to look at the pub. This is Biggin Hall in front of us, again built in the 1600s. This Biggin Hall, got a lot of history to it, as you can imagine. But now it's a 3-star hotel. There's Biggin Hall. Nice place. Pleasant village, but as with so many villages these days, it's the village shop is no longer. But Hartington's only just down the road, so. There's a little feature just up the road that I would like to show you. Not much to look at, but it is a place of interest. You might see one or two cyclists on the skyline. They're on the way across the Tissington Trail, disused railway track. But on the right here, these concrete block out, well, sheds, buildings. These date back to the Second World War, and they were effectively a prison camp. They were used to house Italian prisoners of war who were sent up here to work on the local farms, and they were very well behaved, very well looked after. Some say maybe a little bit too well looked after, because there were one or two ladies from the village who got themselves in a bit of bother for associating with the Italian prisoners. Well, we know what the Italians are famous for, don't we? You naughty, naughty ladies. Never mind. I'm sure the Italians enjoyed themselves while they were here. So that was Biggin. On to the next one. Another one of my regular green lanes up to the left there, but that's going the wrong direction for us this morning, well, this afternoon. So we'll carry on for a few miles on the 515, the A515 that is. Here on the right, there are one or two Himalayan owners that will remember this place. A campsite on the right hand side. This is Banky's Barn, which was this was the base last year now for the Himalayan weekend here at Banky's Barn. Still not entirely sure about this GoPro 4. I'm sure they'll get to trust it eventually. It is a lovely road, is this 515. It's the main road, admittedly, the A515, but it's runs from Buxton to Ashbourne and vice versa, and it really is a nice road. But we need to pull off because we need to get across to our next village. And it is a lovely village as this one. Unspoilt. It's Parwich. So here we are, the village of Parwich. As I say, it's a beautiful little village, this is. Unspoilt, but also the location of our next hall, which is Parwich Hall. Now this is Parwich in front of us. It's a little bit different. Parwich Hall, that is, in that it's brick built. Brick built and gritstone is Parwich Hall, built in 1747 by the then Baronet Lavange or Lavange. A lot of landowners around here of Norman descent back in the day. But it's remained a private residence. This one's not open to the public at all, nor is it a hotel. But it's currently owned by the Shields family, about whom I don't know an awful lot, to be honest. So yes, that's Parwich Hall. And the village of Parwich in particular. Just really, oh look at that cottage there. Well, cottage. It's heck of a spread is that one. So that brings us back out onto the top road, as the locals refer to it, the 515, heading towards Ashbourne as we are at the minute. Down on the left is the Tissington Trail again. Again, this was the line that connected Buxton with Ashbourne. Taken up at the behest of that nice Dr. Beeching, or I should say at the suggestion of the nice Dr. Beeching. Ernest Marples was the Transport Minister at the time, who charged Dr. Beeching with saving the government some money. And I realised that there was an awful lot of railway lines all over the country that maybe weren't that economical, but some of the ones that he closed down, well, criminal in a way, but they've gone. Now I've saved the best till last really. We've got to turn off here for the village of Tissington. I mean, you can see the standard of the place, and we're coming into what is a private estate really, belonging to Hartington Hall, along this this avenue of trees. You can tell this place is just that little bit special, and it is very much still an estate village, this Tissington. And the sun's come out for us as we reach Tissington. Absolutely beautiful little place. See the coat of arms everywhere. This is a cafe, which I might just be frequenting very soon. And here up on the left, now this is a bit special. Oh, somebody's getting married. What a backdrop for your wedding. This is Tissington Hall. Dates back to 1609, does this. Built by the Fitzherberts, and it is still owned by the Fitzherberts. Oh, what a lovely place for a wedding. Current incumbent being Sir Richard Fitzherbert. Very well thought of by his parishioners and his tenants, this Sir Richard. So that's the village of Tissington. And its hall, and I'm sure you'll agree it's a bit special. But there is one feature of Tissington that Tissington is actually renowned for, or maybe even notorious for. I'm going to take you and show it, and I'm going to have a look at it before we tackle it, shall we say. Now this is where we're actually crossing the Tissington Trail. There's just down below us on both sides is the disused railway line. Quite an important part of my life in the late 1990s anyway, when I worked at the Cycle Hire Centre at Parsley Hay on the Tissington Trail. And here we have Tissington Ford. Doesn't look too bad. I'll go for it, shall we? All adds to the fun. So let's have another go at it, just for completion. So there we are. That's a little selection of my villages and local mansion houses. Hope you found it interesting and enjoyable. Either way, thanks for watching, and yeah, give us a thumbs up if you could, and subscribe if you've not already done so. It doesn't cost anything and it does help me. Cheers anyway, see you in the next one. Bye for now.